Director of the Department of State Service from Northwest State, have met in Kaduna to review prevailing security concerns and strengthen counter-terrorism strategies across the region. They met alongside their counterparts from the FCT, Niger and Plateau states in a session hosted by the Kaduna DSS Command focused on enhancing intelligence sharing, improving interagency collaboration. Now, Kaduna State Governor Senator Ubasani, represented by the Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Sule Shaibu, said intelligence-driven cooperation remains central to tackling insecurity in the Northwest and beyond. The governor described the DSS as a key institution for Nigeria's internal stability and commended the service for its role in strengthening national security. For a deep dive into the development, I'm being joined by international journalist Adeniyi Kunnu. He's, former assistant director of the, we will be expecting a former assistant director of the DSS, Mr. Dennis Amachree. But Mr. Kunnu, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Mr. Kunnu, it sounds like America is slowly building a case. It's shaping a story about Nigeria. Let me be direct and ask, do you think this is genuine concern about violence in Nigeria, or is it just part of a wider political script where Washington wants more leverage in West Africa?
I want to stand firmly as one whose ancestry is entrenched in the soil of Nigeria to say this is not indicative of genuine concern for my own country. And I'm saying it clearly today because the history is well documented regarding how violence has become second nature, especially in recent times in northern Nigeria. And there's absolutely nothing that can be done at this moment to convince me that the leadership of my dear country, Nigeria, is interested in dealing with the enemies of state. In 2018, let me remind us, when communities in Lugu and Goma woke up to the death of women, pregnant women and children, and some adults alike, President Muhammadu Buhari's defense minister in his first time said they should learn to live with their neighbors. If you look at the recent attacks we have in the northern part of the country, the pastor in question called that they have an inkling regarding the attack to their communities, and the military did nothing about it, and 13 hours after they were attacked. If you look at the past 24 months, there has been consistent killing of people. Please mark my words carefully because this is a global media house. There has been killings here, and I want to tell you something that's been happening in the US here. It is all over the news. Let me tell you, we can continue to hide our head in the soil, but anything that the US takes up, the world takes up. And the people that will be affected by the consequences of the inaction of government will definitely not feel it now until the real fire starts crackling everywhere. So I'm simply telling you here today and now that whatever movement you see them make, it is simply because there's a smoke and there's a fire to their buttocks, and they do not, let me tell you, these people are not interested in calling out these persons by their names and dealing with them. Do you know what I'm putting out to Donald Trump now? I want Donald Trump to ask President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where is the over 400 names that President Muhammadu Buhari did not act upon, handed over to them by the United Arab Emirates, who have been sponsoring terrorism? That is when you know that these people don't love Nigeria and Nigeria. Excuse me, beyond and above the Christian killing narrative, which is established by facts and figures. The fact that people will be taking motorbikes into communities, attending weddings of politicians, getting turbaned by politicians whose obvious job is to kill people, tells you that government itself appears to be benefiting from this dastardly act of the enemies of this country.
Mr. Kunnu, these are very interesting facts that you are raising here. It begs to ask whether there's a communication gap when it comes to continuity in government from Buhari to Tinubu. However, let's get back to this bill now. the bill calls for visa bans and asset freezes for alleged militia leaders. But at the same time, Nigeria's own security agencies are still struggling to define what counts as terrorism or what banditry is. So does this show, or does it reveal our weak internal communication, like you were just telling, and also perhaps maybe weak justice system as well?
I like us to really understand that we must choose our words deliberately here. The high level of leadership in any country is the presidency. It therefore means that if President Muhammadu Buhari did not communicate the issues in his administration to the current leadership before he left office, then I need to say very clearly here that the people who operated within that communication office, they really should not have had the job in the first place. There are always handover notes with enough explanatory statements made regarding the successes you have made with the problems you inherited or that came up in your administration and the propositions that you made regarding how to solve it. So when you talk about communication gap, I beg to differ with every respect to you. Perhaps you're just being modest with the issue. Now, this is not to actually undermine the great efforts of the Nigerian military, but this is to tell you about the capability. Excuse me, please. Let me remind us of what you know as a journalist of reputation and what News Central also understand. When President Muhammadu Buhari took over, there were army officers who had been mutinous under President Goodluck Jonathan. And the reason they did that was simple. They said people within the army were giving information to Boko Haram about where they were, about their strategy. In 2021, let me remind us.
Mr. Kunnu, I would love to let you continue. I would love to let you continue, but we have to go on a break. These are interesting details you're giving us. However, when we come back, we're going to have Dr. Dennis Amachree join us. He is the Assistant Director of the DSS. Is that, I hear that he is already here with us, so I might as well just go ahead with you, sir. Welcome, Doctor. Thank you very much for coming on tonight. So, Doctor, the U.S. Congress says it's acting on religious persecution. Nigeria insists it's really about resource conflicts. It's about failed governance. These are two different readings. Now, how much of this confusion is Nigeria's own making, in considering documentation or the lack of it? Is communication, like I asked Mr. Kunnu there, is it the issue?
First of all, I say hello to my friend Kunnu. I've not seen him for quite a while. You see, what we are talking about is something that has caught up with us. It's like karma catching up with us, because we have been saying this. Security professionals have been saying it. Political analysts have been saying this. But look, we have to handle these people. Now, I don't know, the thing is that we are now all reacting because the United States have just sent a little tweet and everybody is now shaking. Now, Miyetti Allah has been operating as if they own the country. You know, I know when they were openly placating Miyetti Allah, you know, especially as it concerns those foreign bandits that were brought into Nigeria. You know, and Miyetti Allah has not been able to even get those people out, because apparently they feel they are part of them. You know, so you see, we are at a crossroads in Nigeria where we have to, you know, identify the problem and solve that problem. If we continue playing that politics...
Dr. Amachree, I'm happy that you said identify the problem. That seems to be the problem itself. It seems to be one of nomenclature. What's the difference between banditry, pastoralists, Boko Haram, and terrorists? How can we differentiate all of these, or how should the government have done so?
Well, it's so simple. It's so simple a thing. We know that terrorists have been disturbing Nigeria, right from insurgency. Then, of course, the bandits that were brought in, We try to even buy Tucano jets from the United States, and the United States said they are not going to sell it to us because they don't want us to buy Tucano and they use it on civilian population. Then the government went to court, and the court now declared the bandits as terrorists. And then we took that judgment to the United States before they sold us the Tucano. I think anybody who is very observant knows this particular story. You know, so these bandits have been with us. We call them bandits, we later call them terrorists, but what they are actually doing is terrorizing the society. Kidnapping, killing, burning down houses, doing all kinds of things. And of course, the whole idea is to send them out of the country. Now, if our military is serious, they should tell the commander-in-chief that these are the people that are causing the problem. We know them. They've been fighting them for years. So why don't we just, for once, forget about politics and then deal with them?
Okay. Dr. Amachree,
let's send them out of the country.
now, Dr. Amachree, I'm gonna jump off of something you said. Now, Nigeria wanted to buy these jets. We asked the U.S. and they said, no, you can't use them on civilians. We were able to identify these bandits as terrorists. Now, if we had stuck to that nomenclature, and let me ask Mr. Kunnu, would we find ourselves here where it's now a situation of religious genocide? If we had stuck to bandits as terrorists, do you think we would have gotten here? Or do you think that this was nonetheless going to happen? Mr. Kunnu, please.
Well, I think that in my candid estimation that Dr. Amachree talked about, we have actually identified them long before now. And why have I? Former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai said, while he was in office a few years ago, that they can hear everything being said by these bandits, that they pick their conversations and all of that. That means that these people that have been designated terrorists already know. And I do not understand what is the relationship between the people that have been making advocacy for the United States of America to help you eliminate the people that are disturbing your own country. Excuse me, there is no warfare across the world that is won by any single country. Military warfare on a global scale, it is at best successful when there's collaboration among those whose strategies align. And we know that the country has a long-standing relationship with the United States of America in terms of arms and ammunition purchase and in terms of military collaboration. So if you look at the way people, especially those whose hands are not clean in quotes, have been running from pillar to post since the U.S. began to speak strongly to the issue of this killing in this country, you'd get to understand that some of them never knew it was going to come to a stage where this would happen. So while Dr. Amachree has talked about identifying these particular people, I want to move from there to say these people have been identified. Perhaps they need to expand the scope of the identification and do something decisive. Let me remind those who care to listen that in same 2018, when people were killed in Logo and Goma, in Benue, the spokesperson of MAGBAN, this same MAGBAN, came out and said that the Benue State Governor, Samuel Otom, didn't have the right to ban open grazing in Benue. Don't take my word for it. Go there into your archive and dig it up. A duly elected governor makes a law to stop a problem.
All right, Mr.
And the spokesman of this same man is saying that a governor doesn't have the right to make a law, and all the leadership that has been spoken of, they kept quiet. Listen, let me tell you this.
Mr. Kunnu, I'd love to let you continue, but I have to prorate the time here between you two gentlemen. My apologies, but I will come back to you with another question. But for Dr. Amachree, the Department of State Service says it's mapping new anti-terror strategies. But the timing is interesting. I mean just when Washington is saying, okay, we're going to come in and invade. So if Washington follows through with this so-called accountability measure, is what they're calling, what real impact would it have on Nigeria and Nigeria's sovereignty? Dr. Amachree, my apologies. We're going to try and fix that from here. But let's come back to Mr. Kunnu. Mr. Kunnu, I hope you heard that question there. Now, what impact is this going to have on Nigeria's sovereignty? Let's also note that they are cutting aid as well. What sectors? How will this affect Nigerians? Mr. Kunnu, please.
It will definitely affect lots of people because some persons, businesses, concerns, daily life is hinged to the United States of America. There are certain things that lots of business will have to stop from. Maybe if it took you 3-4 days to have certain paperwork processed, if you have business concern in the United States of America, now it could take you a month because it's going to be twice, triple, or quadruple scrutiny here because of the indiscretions of many years of our leaders. Now, when people are banned, for instance, let me even tell you this. Before this time, people that are going to study in the United States of America, but many of their children are being denied visa. Those have been duly granted admission. Just simply because the leadership of the country did not enable what I call proper accountability in terms of the security of lives and property. And that's a fact.
Okay.
There are lots of exchange programs that had gone on without problem even before President Donald Trump came in.
All right
now, because the world has been watching, and let me even tell you this, please.
You've got just 15 seconds, Mr. Kunnu. Go ahead.
The technology we make stuff belong to this country. So while we are lying to Nigerians here, they are listening to every conversation, watching every move. The technology belongs to them. So let's stop this hypocrisy.
Stop the hypocrisy.
Remains intact. I'm sorry that I'm going ballistic on your program, but this country has caused us lots of problems that it should have helped us.
All right, Mr. Kunnu, your passion shows through even here in the studio. Thank you very much. Dr. Amachree, our apologies, we were unable to rectify that issue with your sound there. Hopefully when we have you back next time, it's going to be, well, with no